Good afternoon. It's Sunday. I'm not sure. I think it's like the 28th of April in 2013. I'm going to demonstrate how you can make arrows using a hand grinder or disc grinder, they call them. It's best to make your arrows ahead of time while you have the equipment, because in the bush you won't have this. You'll be lucky if you have a handsaw or a hacksaw really to cut metal, and it's a lot slower, or even a file. But that's the way it is in the bush. Now let's see. But here, while you got the electric equipment, if you, assuming you have it, you can use either a disc grinder, a skill saw. You just buy these disc cutters. They have the ones that just like this. They're thin that fit the disc grinder. Trouble with cutting them out was, like I did last time, I lost a lot of material by cutting with this, because I had the thick grinder on there. So I got me a 4.5 inch cutter for mine, for my disc grinder this time. And I'm going to lay off a arrowhead, something similar to this one. Get over here where you can see it, something similar to this. I'm not sure if you was viewing any of what I was talking about, but we'll see here. I'll get it where you can see. Alright. We'll make some arrowheads, something similar to that. These are broadheads, flatheads. There's several ways to make arrowheads, but this is just one method that you can take sheet metal, which I've got right here. This is a galvanized sheet metal that when I was junking, selling out junk iron to yappies for money, I saved this piece of flat metal for sign making or whatever I wanted. So I decided that, hey, this would work just fine for arrowheads, and it does. Except it's just a little thinner than what you can get at a hardware store. But you have to, you can get a sheet, that'll, a small sheet, I think costs $5 or so, at any hardware store, lumber yard. You just go in there like Lowe's or Home Depot, places like that, or even Atwood's might have it. I know they do have metal. You know, they have 01 metal for making knives and swords, which I'm going to be doing that in the future here too. I got to build another blacksmith forge, big, you know, with a trough big enough and the airflow stuff set up to where it will heat the whole blade at once. See, my little brake drum forge here at TB's cabin. I don't know if I told you I was, but anyway. We're here at TB's cabin this afternoon, and what my plans are is to make another forge. When I do get it made, then I can make the machetes and swords and keep the temperature even all the way down the blade, instead of having to move the blade around to get half of it done, then a third of it done in that one. But it did pretty good for just a brake drum forge. I've got my machete about ready to go together. I'm going to go and get a welding machine so I can fix another forge, and I'll need a cutting torch too, so I can build another blacksmith forge that has a longer trough. Also, I'll need the welding machine for making tools and stuff to work with a lot quicker, and you might as well use what you have, you know, while you're in civilization, because your time is coming when one day you won't be able to buy all this stuff, or even to have a camera like I got here and demonstrating this stuff. 10, 15 years ago, even 5 years ago, I'd never thought I'd been here demonstrating this. I used to do this stuff for my own survival and for my own reasons. I never taught it to anybody or showed anybody any of this stuff. Wasn't no reason to. But I think it's good to share what you've learned when you lived on this planet as long as I have. I didn't expect to get this old. But I did, so here I am. I might as well write my story of my life and more or less demonstrate some stuff that may help others. Now, I haven't done everything in the world, nope. But I have a lot of knowledge on some of the stuff that may help others. And that's why I'm doing this. It's not just to make a buck off anybody. I mean, shoot, I've spent more already than I'll ever make out of it, I figure. but nevertheless, I'd like to open a survival school someday. Set up a little country store, do some trading and stuff on my own land, not in this cotton picking town where they have laws and crap that I got to put up with here. There's always some laws, but they got their domineering crap in this town. But anyway, every town probably has that. That's the reason I say that we don't live in a free America no more. We live in a communism takeover, more or less. We live in a free country, but they've domineered everything. I'm going to make the bottom part of this arrowhead 1.5 inches, I think, and no bigger. Will be heavy enough. I don't want to get them too big. Let me look at what I got here. I like this pattern. It's not too bad. I've rounded the corners back here. There's no need in the back corners on this thing. Let me zoom in on it. Y'all won't be able to see from over there. A little more, and I'll put it down here on my table more so, where I'm going to be planning on using the cutter and the grinder to show you how this stuff works. I'm not sure you can see it yet. That sunlight's got me where I can't see whether we're filming what I was wanting to demonstrate or not. Let's see. Get it down just a little more. Maybe I got a little high. We're demonstrating the product now. How to make it. What I'm going to do is show you a style of arrow that's cheap and inexpensive to make. You know, you can buy a sheet metal, a little strip. It's about so wide and probably 5 or 6 inches, and I don't know, it's a strip about like that, and you can probably get 100 arrowheads out of it, 50 at least, at any hardware store. Like I was saying, Bernard's has them. That's one of Dave Canterbury's favorite stores, Bernard, but and many others. We just don't have a Bernard's here. We have is in this town here is Ron's Discounts. They have Ron's Discounts for the buildings and lumber here, and we have Atwood's here, and we have something like a co-op here. It used to be co-op. It's called something else now. Let's see, OK Foods, I believe. Now 1.5 inches. We'll put the back part of the ear pretty wide, but actually, we'll see. Then I'm going to put them on these driveway stakes for arrows. You don't even have to have that wide. We could go with, let's see, on the bottom part, we could go with 1.5, or just, 1.25 if I wanted to. Or I could just have a 1/4 inch hang over on each side. Because these little 1/4 inch arrow shafts here are not very wide. As you can see, they're just 1/4 inch shafts. Well, let's see, we could go with a full 1 inch and just on the back, and then cut it, putting it in the center is what I'm thinking. All right, mark this off here at 1 inch at the bottom. I just want to be sure we got a good, because you got to think about your knots you're going to put in there for your tying off too. So I'd say go with 1.25 inches at least at the bottom, on the bottom part that's going to be near your arrow shaft. Now we want to come up here about 1.5 inches, I'd say, for the tip of the arrow where it'll come to. Let's get over here so I can see what I'm doing. 1.5 inches maybe. See what that looked like. Not too bad. 1.5 inches. You don't have to go to all the trouble I'm going to. What I mean is you don't have to lay it out real fancy or nothing. But you do want to get them even. And the better setup like this is when starting off the arrow, I'm going to lean this one side here, come down in here and just copy off of this one, and this will give me a pretty decent arrow. See, that's a little longer actually up here though than what I